The soul core of Ascapa has 5% increased quantity of gold dropped by slain enemies. Previously, it was 10% increased rarity of items found. This has to be the biggest fucking nerf I have ever seen in my life in any game, dude. Hey guys, I have a video here from Wooly that is called All Major Changes in New PoE 2 Update Patch Rundown in less than 10 minutes. I wanna watch this video because I read all the patch notes. I have it in here. This shit is long as fuck. If I do the review, I have too much. We will be in here for 4 hours. Not worth it. So when I saw that Wooly, that he makes awesome videos, had a review for under 9 minutes, brother, I have to see this shit and then we can talk about the patch, right? In a compressed manner and not in the yapathon that I usually do, brother. Dude, over 60% of you are not subscribed. Why? Why are you like this? Just click the button, dude. It is quick, it is easy, it is free. You get content, I get a sub, win-win situation. Just click the button, my dude.
I just finished reading the 0.2 Dawn of the Hunt patch notes, and here's the best synopsis that I can give you. In terms of general changes, many skills, they've said, have had their damage rebalanced, both the base value and the scaling value. We'll see what this actually equates to. We don't quite.
He says, we'll see, lol, you know, and he says, we'll see what this actually equates to. You know what it equates to? It is not rebalance. I don't know why they use the word rebalance. They were nerfed, destroyed, obliterated, nuked from orbit. Hex Blast. Rest in peace, Hex Blast 2024-2025, dude. Rest in peace.
Know without the numbers, right? Then the mana costs of specifically attacks, marks, and war cries, not spells, have been lowered, which is great. Enemies have...
That is a good change, guys. You guys want to say that everything sucks. That is a good fucking change, dude.
30% less armor, which is great for physical builds, obviously.
I told you that they needed to nerf the game itself. That is a nerf to the game itself. Enemies have 30% less armor. It doesn't mean anything because armor sucks, but okay.
Then, fully armor broken enemies also take 20% increased physical damage. That's essentially physical builds getting 20% more damage when they're breaking armor, which is very good. Then, elemental ailments are applied to you, the player, twice as often as before. Those are your freezes, ignites, shock, chills, etc. All of that will happen.
That happens because basically your elemental ailment was based on your total life and now it is based on half your life. That is why it happens twice more, right?
Happen twice as frequently to you, so charm stonks are going up, baby. Light stuns happen less frequently to the player, which is very good. Light stuns are what you're encountering 99% of the time, where there's a bunch of like guys chucking spears at you, or something, and you.
Bro, that was funny.
Just like getting micro stunned into place. That'll happen less frequently, which is very good. But then heavy stuns against you, the player, have had their duration tripled, which is probably not a big deal because I can't really recall like getting knocked on the ground as a player. That'd be a heavy stun, except for the the new riding the Roa skill that is gonna get you heavy stuns. So be careful of that, boys.
Exactly. When I initially read the 3 seconds for a heavy stun, 3 seconds is too much. People don't like losing control of their character. But in reality, you don't get heavy stun that much. You get light stun a lot, but it will happen less frequently, apparently, according to GGG. I still think they want for us to build a stun threshold. And people don't want to build a stun threshold because building a stun threshold is boring. But apparently, they want us to do it. And the same goes for element threshold. Use a stun charm thingy. Exactly. I use it all the time, by the way. The stun charm. The stone charm was what allowed me to clear Simulacrum 4, by the way. Because I was dying in Simulacrum because when the mob jumps to you and they hit you, they stop your attack and then you can get back into the attack and they boom, 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 and they kill you. When I use the stone charm and they hit me and I get immune to a stun for 2 seconds, I go back into the attack and kill all those motherfuckers. Pro tip, by the way. People don't want to waste notes and items on such fullness, max damage. Exactly. Like, that is exactly what I'm saying. Like, what is more exciting when you are putting a point down in the tree? What is more exciting, dude? Like putting shit like this that is gain 12% of physical damage as extra fire damage. That is exciting. Or getting some shit, I don't know. I wanna see something boring in here. 20% increased torrent placement speed. It is not as fun, right? It is still fun, but there is something much more stupid than that. I am looking for something. This one, 10% increase stun threshold. Nobody wants to pick that. You pick it because of the +5 strength, not because of the stun threshold, dude. Let's be honest in here, guys. Increase stuns damage. What the fuck? Gonna need to anoint some ailment threshold stuff for sure, or maybe an essential on boots. Yep. Again, we still need to see how big of a deal it is, because I'll be honest, in the current state the game is, I don't give a fuck about ailment threshold or stun threshold. Stun threshold a little bit more, as we discussed. Stun threshold is kind of important, but ailment threshold right now in the game, I don't give a fuck. So we still have to wait and see how impactful it is, because maybe it can just be ignored. Oh yes, I am getting ignited, I use my flask, it doesn't matter. We will have to wait and see how it is actually, you know.
Then mana as an archetype pretty much got completely obliterated. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. All of the mana rolls have been absolutely lowered across the passive tree, across your items, the Archmage skill.
Yes, they did. For example, if your boots could roll, I am throwing random numbers, but so you understand. If your boots could roll from 100 to 150 mana, now they are rolling from 80 to 120 mana, 30 less mana. So you will be able to stack a lower amount of mana, right? And I am happy. Fuck mana, fuck mages and all that shit.
Got gutted. Mana is, I don't know when that's coming back, but it's not going to be this patch, I can tell you that much. That's for sure. Then Herald Chaining is dead, so that's basically Herald of Ice plus Herald of Thunder.
That was one of the ways we speculated that Heralds were going to get nerfed. That they didn't allow, like, the Herald of Ice triggers the lightning and the lightning triggers the ice. That is it. That can't happen anymore.
They can't proc off of one another, which was the problem for a lot of people. But Heralds, if you're only running one of them in a build, or if you're not relying on the chain reaction factor, it's basically changed, if not a little buffed. And then the final noteworthy general change is that crossbows were giga buffed. Not only were their base damage increased, so the physical damage that comes on them, but also the added elemental and physical damage that can roll on them. As you can see here, it says the base damage of crossbows has been increased, but also crossbows now have the two-handed versions of added damage mods instead of the one-handed version.
That should have been like that always, because crossbows are a two-handed weapon. It even surprises me that they had the one-handed weapon versions. That is stupid, dude. That is stupid as fuck. Hey, am I going crossbow Smith of Kitava on this motherfucker? Probably, maybe, I don't know.
They were using. Seems like GGG made a bit of an oopsie there. Apparently we were like dual wielding one-hand crossbows at some point. They forgot to update the value, so oops. So yeah, crossbows are going to be in a very big. And then finally, if that wasn't good enough, the attack speed of the weapon, the local value that all your other increases of attack speed apply to, that value was not applying to your reload speed. As someone who made a crossbow build, I can tell you boys, that is a gargantuan change in and of itself. So we got damage increase, reload speed changes. It's gonna be good. All right, there are a few more general things that I'll cover at the end of the video here, just for more like comedic factor, but I want to cover changes to 3 specific builds that I have made and what those changes entail. The first one is my warrior leveling build. If you're watching this video the day of release, this build actually isn't out yet, but it will be out very shortly. This is basically just a way to level any warrior as efficiently as possible. Doesn't matter if you're playing any ascendancy, the smith, the titan, the warbringer, doesn't matter. This is the leveling build that you're using. First of all, primed for stun thresholds on enemies were lowered by a flat 10%. So I believe the values were 50, 60, 70, 80% for normal, magic, rare, and unique enemies respectively. And now it's just lowered, 40, 50, 60.
That is good because that makes your bone shatter cooler, better. And I like that. Easier to use.
70. Basically just means you'll be able to heavy stun enemies more frequently, which is very good because this build revolves around that entirely with Bone Shatter. Next up, the Impact Shockwave support gem. The AoE was lowered by 10% of its base value, but it now scales with your area modifiers. Yeah, that's a buff. Then Rolling Slam's attack speed got buffed by 33% and went from a fixed 1.5 second attack time to now a fixed 1 second attack time. Extremely poggers. Then a bit of a nerf here. Perfect Strike no longer always ignites. Now, I don't know if this is actually a nerf or not, because the chance to ignite something is related to the incoming hit and then the ailment threshold of the enemy, basically how much health they have. And you're always chunking bosses for at least like 20% of their health bar when you hit them with Perfect Strike. So I'm assuming you're always going to be igniting them regardless, but if I have to make some changes for ignite chance, then so be it, because it is actually a pretty significant source of your single target damage. And finally, the window of opportunity support gems damage was nerfed by 10% and the timing window was nerfed by 20%. So it's going to be a noticeable change overall to Perfect Strike. However, given the first lineup here again that mini skills damage have been rebalanced, maybe Perfect Strike is overall buffed. Who knows? So the next build is the Armor Break Warbringer, which as you can see here got giga buffed. First of all, just drop Hammer of Gods entirely. It's literally not worth it. You have to heavy stun an enemy, and then you get one cast of Hammer of the Gods. Every time you heavy stun, you get one cast of Hammer of Gods. It's basically dead entirely on bosses, at least on builds that don't revolve around stun mechanics, and even on those builds, it's still pretty much dead. I don't know what they're thinking with that, man, but guess what? It doesn't matter because your Sunder literally deals more damage. Literally, that's not even a joke. Like, Sunder actually does more damage than Hammer of the Gods. So it basically doesn't matter at all for the single target damage of the Armor Break Warbringer build. If you have played the build, you know what I'm talking about. Furthermore, the Armor Break mechanic, as I read in the general section, now just gives you 20% more damage for free. The vast majority of your single target damage is physical damage.
If you guys don't know, the Warbringer Armor Break is my first character. I did it with Rolling Slam and Sunder. I break the armor of the dude with Rolling Slam, and when their armor is fully broken, I throw Sunder, and Sunder is guaranteed to crit when you hit a character that has the armor fully broken. That was, with a Warbringer, that was my very first build in Path of Exile 2.
Damage, which is what this is applying to. So, hey, it basically is 20% more damage. Then the Armor Breaker gem, the skill gem specifically, breaks 20% less armor, but remember from earlier, the enemies now have 30% less armor to break in the first place, so it's just a buff overall. And finally, the Turtle Charm Ascendancy node,
which is the best fucking thing about going Warbringer was the Turtle Charm. That shit was already broken, and they buffed it! They buffed the Turtle Charm, and the Turtle Charm was insane. Like, I don't understand. They buffed this that was cool, and they nerfed stuff that sucked.
literally just gives you 15% more block chance now. So yeah, Armor Break Warbringer sitting in a very good spot after the update. And finally, the Run and Gun Witch Hunter, as you can see, was also giga buffed. Let's go. Crossbows, again, were giga buffed. The base damage, the added damage, and the reload speed, all of those have been immensely buffed, which is fantastic. Then specifically for the Witch Hunter, the Sorcery Ward node now gives you 30% more armor and evasion relative to what it was, and has a 20% faster recharge speed on top of that. So you're gonna have more armor and evasion, and you're gonna have Sorcery Ward up more frequently. But there was actually a slight nerf here to the Scatter Shot support gem, which basically the damage penalty was increased. This equates to about 19% less damage than before. However, remember, crossbows got giga buffed. So overall, the build should be absolutely immensely buffed in all capacities. End of story. All right, and then here at the end, I have a few miscellaneous things. Number one, Flame Blast. Did you guys check this? Look at this. Flame Blast now has a 15-second cooldown. Previously, none. And now has 75% more damage per stage. Previously, 200%.
Brother, what the fuck? They destroyed Flame Blast.
Previously, 200%. I played a build that relied on Flame Blast for single target damage. I played full self-cast, 100% crit chance, Ignite, Flame Blast, Blood Mage. Did I say Flame Blast twice? I think I did. Anyway, it wasn't that good. It wasn't spectacular. I think I had like 5.5 million total Ignite damage. In fact, I can show you my exact POB here. Yeah, I had a 720k DPS Ignite, and they have a giga nerf. Like, this is basically an infinite nerf because it had no cooldown. Now it was a 15-second cooldown. Like, it's just... it's dead. What the heck are they thinking? Like, did I miss something? Was Flame Blast like crazy? Was Flame Blast like giga busted at some point? I don't know. I thought
that was what I told you earlier with the Turtle Charm. They buffed stuff that was good and nerfed stuff that sucked. I don't know, dude.
Skills were like the worst archetype of skills by far, but apparently not the GGG, dude. Second of all, Ghost Wraith is now completely dead. The conversion happened before Chaos Inoculation, so you would convert your life into ES, and then your life would be set to 1 through Chaos Inoculation. You basically just got a bunch of extra ES for free. That no longer happens, and then Ghost Wraith on top of that got nerfed, so the classic GGG double tap here. So not only did they have to change the conversion process, but they also just give you a 25% of your life converted to ES instead of 50%. So hey, you know what? GGG, classic GGG. Archmage is completely dead, and now has 3% of damage as extra lightning damage instead of 5 to 6%. But actually, 20% quality, it was 8%. So you're going from 8% to 3% of damage, and you have skills cost more of your mana, which is not a benefit in PoE 2, that's only in PoE 1. So yeah, Archmage is pretty much dead as well. Temporalis got nerfed by 50%. It's not really a big deal. Temporalis give you 4 to 2 second reduced cooldowns. Now it's only 2 to 1 seconds, but like whatever, dude. Temporalis, someone's going to find a busted build with it. And then finally, the Morior Invictus might be pogging out of its gourd. I don't really know here. So that's the body armor that drops from the Arbiter of Ash.
Yep.
And before, it only rolled with 2 random modifiers. Now it rolls with 3. However, they removed some pretty interesting modifiers. First of all, rarity, done. Max life, done. Max mana, done. Attributes, done. And they've adjusted some. The Spirit one, the Global Defense, the All Res, all of that's been lowered. But they added 7 new modifiers on top of that. So you have 3 total modifiers instead of 2. They removed basically all of the OP ones, but they added 7 new ones on top of that. So maybe?
We will have to see what happens.
Anyway, tell me what you guys think about the 0.2 patch in the description below. I will be playing this on League Start. Check out my stream at twitch.tv.
I will also be playing it on League Start. Well, not necessarily on League Start. Later that night, and Saturday and Sunday we will be there going hard. Follow my Twitch, follow my YouTube, follow all my shit. I stream live. I multi-stream on both platforms, dude. Just do that. But there is other stuff in the patch that I wanted to talk about that he didn't mention. And the Ingenuity unique belt was nerfed. It no longer provides 40 to 80% increased bonuses gained from equipped rings. Instead, it now has a 20 to 30% increase bonuses gained from equipped left ring and 20 to 30 from right ring. So it will depend. It won't be a flat for both rings. And it also now has +1 to charm slots. And it can take away, if you get it negative, to your charms charges gained and reduce charm charges used. So Ingenuity was nerfed to the fucking ground. And the other thing that happened that I think it is worth a mention because of how stupid it is. The soul core of Azcapa has 5% increased quantity of gold dropped by slain enemies. Previously it was 10% increased rarity of items found. This has to be the biggest fucking nerf I have ever seen in my life in any fucking game, dude. They just obliterated this shit. Nobody is going to use the new Soul Core of Azcapa. What? To find 5% more gold? You don't give a fuck about that. What the fuck is that? Unless you deal more damage, the more gold you have, nobody's going to care about that shit. What the fuck, dude? So, in my opinion, this is the stupidest nerf I have ever seen in my life, dude. What the fuck? There was something else that I wanted to point out. Oh, yes, the Green Fist. The Green Fist. Look at this. Green Fist can no longer be engraved in the gem coding menu. Existing Green Fist gems have been disabled. We aim to reward Green Fist in the coming future. Basically, they just disable Green Fist. They remove it from the game. Forget about the Green Fist because they are going to reward that shit. So, yeah. Rest in pepperoni, Green Fist, dude. So, yes, that is important shit about the patch, dude. Bunch of nerfs. Bunch of people crying. That is what happens soon. What do you guys think? Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I a clown? Am I a genius? Let me know everything in the comments below. I love reading comments even when they don't agree with me. Also remember to like the video, to subscribe to the channel, all that cool stuff. Guys, thanks for being here. You guys are fucking awesome. God bless ya. And remember, don't be afraid ever because this is just a ride.